Hello and welcome back to the channel. Lunaz here, and today we'll be continuing the Rimworld run. As normal, we'll get straight into things. So towards the end of last episode, we had a raid by some Horax cultists. They're now all dead. However, we picked up a new permanent injury in the form of the left hand being lost on Kiko, who has been a reliable soldier for us, and they currently have 0 manipulation until their shoulder heals. This is really bad for us, as a fair number of colonists have had their usefulness decline somewhat due to these injuries. So we are going to make prosthetic arms and legs. We'll have them as high priority builds for the time being, and we'll only have probably one made at a time. But we're gonna aim this episode to start sorting some of these injuries out. Yes, these will result in some form of loss to their abilities to manipulate or to move. I am not sure how efficient they are compared to a real arm, but I will check as soon as one is available. In addition to that, the goal will be to set up a crafting room, furnish the new bedrooms, ensure every colonist has a bedroom, and work on component production today, as well as have some defensible corridors ready. So there's quite a lot to do. The first thing though is working on restoring a positive power supply. Okay, the chem fuel power generator is up and running and connected to the mains, so power is now increasing again. And with the upgrades to the corridor now finished, we can work on making some new high quality beds. High quality beds are going to be an absolute necessity from now on, to ensure that colonists are always capable of reaching recreation on time without having to go to sleep. This was made evident through cases like trees a couple of days ago, where low mood and mental breaks were causing them to not do recreation. So we need rooms placed close to recreation sources, and we need the beds as high quality as possible to ensure they're maximizing their sleep. Installing the second of the excellent quality steel double beds has freed up an additional room, which is good news. I'm not sure if that's going to provide rooms for everyone just yet, so we'll have a look and see. 5. We have 11 people in need of rooms. 5 here, 5 there, 1 here. So we do have just enough until Emily is recruited. But that shouldn't be for a while. She still has yet to be converted. So the next thing we will do is work on a slightly more expansive power supply and expanding the next areas that I want to upgrade. Tree has a tantrum and she is going to destroy 50 components. I'm unsure anyone's gonna be able to reach her on time. Frob doesn't even want to bother. Mostly because we don't have a prisoner room. We weren't fast enough. Okay, that's fine. It does limit what we can do now though. We can't make a hydroponic bay just yet anymore, as that was a goal I wanted to do within the next couple of episodes. Still, production isn't high enough either, to the point where we can make components ourselves yet. So we're gonna need to assign another vein to be mined. A flash storm causes some fires, which we aim to try and control the spread of. It does take the majority of the night, but we are able to bring the fire under control. I'm just hoping the fires to the south don't spread as far as I think they could. An eclipse takes place, Emily is converted, and we can work on recruiting her to the cause. And then Frob has a Dark Visions metal break. There will still be some mood loss for the time being. That much is to be expected. Kiko has gained a very minor amount of manipulation. Speaking of which, it seems that the prosthetics are prepared. So we will find those and have a look at what sort of boosts they give. 85%. Okay. Well, Kiko is gonna be the first one. Okay, we need to harvest some herbal medicine. Kind of unfortunate. The medicine should have been ready by now, but thanks to the drought, that isn't the case. And then we need a small squad to hunt down some muffalos. As we have no meat left to board the ship. The muffalos do attack but are dealt with. The ones that didn't die immediately, we're gonna leave to bleed out to try and save some time on them rotting when we do eventually end up butchering them. We receive a rewarded war quest. They want us to take out two groups of imps, roughly around 20 raiders total per group, resulting in 40 raiders for a silent neuroformer. Considering the current situation with why we're here, I don't think provoking an attack by 40 imps is a good idea. The map in general is extremely flammable, and we don't have the people to firefight constantly, and we're also here because of growing, and that's already been kind of thrown off by the drought. The drought is gone, so the crops are starting to grow at a decent rate again. I'm just hoping we're not pushed off the map before we can harvest, because obviously it hasn't happened for a while, but if you spend too long on a map, the mech hive will send a lot of mechs to wipe you out. So that is something we need to avoid happening. Crafter needs to go into death rest immediately, so we're sending him in. Some fires are starting to take place again, but the flash storms are being dealt with by the rain for the most part, so hopefully it does put them all out. The muffalos have now died, and we will work on hauling them aboard the ship. And with the graphite panels we have ended up managing to secure enough space to begin component manufacturing, which is good news. Gray has a tantrum and is gonna destroy random furniture and items. Hopefully it doesn't result in any explosions. Gray's tantrum finally ends, and we have to replace a couple of non-essential pieces of furniture. A mech cluster quest has become available though, shifting the temperature by -10 degrees. I am unsure as to which way yet, so we will see as the temperature changes. Oh, hang on. Is it -10 degrees? Oh no, fog. Fog is fine. The forced weather must be from this thing down here. It seems like it is pushing it up, which isn't an issue. There is a fire spreading to the south that we need to deal with. We just need to clear enough of it that we can change the angle it spreads. Gray has decided to run right into the northern fire while trying to get to the steel deposit, so we're gonna turn that off for the time being, just to prevent that happening again and forbid the steel. I'm hoping it will start raining soon, because most of the map is on fire. Okay, now that we have some medicine as well, we can work on installing the prosthetic arm. It needs to go on the left shoulder. And I also had a thought. People who have injuries to legs, we can replace, like permanent injuries like scars, we can replace injuries there. Which means we can actually get rid of some of these negative mood slots in return for slight penalties to manipulation and movement. we can just go for advanced bionics if we want to do stuff like that. Because I don't think it's worth doing it with regular prosthetics. So it would end up getting bonuses to manipulation and move speed, as well as obviously removing the negative moodlet. But that would be very expensive, so, and we definitely need an income of plasteel and gold for that. Speaking of which, I keep forgetting to use Lane's ability. I need a full stack of steel. And he's turned that into 75 uranium. That is fine. I am gonna have to get rid of some of the fire. Actually, we'll do one at a time, because if we spread them out, it would take longer to fight the fires. Unfortunately, that is gonna result in some recreation mood loss. So while things are gonna be bad on that front, we're gonna take advantage of that and try and get rid of the northern fire as well. Look at that though, nearly half of the map is burned out. I'm hoping it will stop. There's a decent chance the mech hive gets burned down by this fire, so I'm gonna keep an eye on whether that happens or not. The steel vein can be re-allowed, and the rice is starting to be ready, or at least the first field. It does seem like a decent amount of the mech hive is going to get burnt down. I will check. Okay, slugger turrets aren't flammable, those aren't flammable. Mechanoids, I'm not sure. They're not flammable. Okay, they're just gonna lose their defenses. Okay, so the mechanoid threat is coming in 4 days. Unfortunately, that is probably the lowest I've ever seen that generate as, which is very unfortunate. Tree's gonna smash things in her room. We're gonna miss out on a lot of the crops we put down. So we're gonna have to go to a new map. Which will end up being the scanner. I'm hoping we can grow resources there. Tree is an idiot, and has likely killed themselves. Jesus. Hold the door open. Where is Frob? Oh man, these tantrums are definitely starting to become an issue. We'll deal with the fire. seems like we can get it under control. Lane is gonna use his ability again. We make another 75 uranium. Tree is still having a tantrum. You'd kind of think causing 2 explosions would snap them out of it, but no. Right, and then we need to do more fire control as the northern fire is expanding towards our crops. We're offered a damaged shuttle request, but considering we are kind of in a rush right now, we're going to ignore it. We also have a shuttle engine, which is the main thing I would have wanted from that quest, so there's no reason to take it. Right, I'm probably going to avoid coming to one of these biomes again, at least for this run, because we've been getting delayed a lot. God damn it. Tree gets an infection. We should be fine dealing with that. Everyone's mood is extremely low. We have no festivals to deal with the mood. I think I'm gonna allow some fine meals to be made. Just temporarily to try and increase the mood somewhat. And we'll have Sam get up early to do that, as she is in a decent mood. They will need to be prioritized first, though. Right, the fires are starting to get close again. We are going to abandon all of our efforts to continue growing crops, and instead we're going to mass harvest. We'll get what we can and we'll get out, as we've spent the majority of the last 2 or 3 days fighting fires. Tree does end up getting a fairly bad tend, and she can't actually use breach health on herself, so we're gonna have to rely on her getting better tens, otherwise she could be screwed. Somehow a horse is able to evade us for over 2 days while injured, and manages to escape the man. So I guess it's gonna live to see another day. The steel vein is gonna be completely abandoned. Crafter should wake up soon, which is good, but the fires are getting very close, so I'm gonna have to work on getting rid of those again. We'll prioritize the one closest to the ship, and then we'll go and defend the rice field. Crafter is awake now, and will probably keep fleeing the fire. As long as he can help somewhat, that's fine though. As if things couldn't get bad enough, Kiko gets sick from the flu, putting 2 of our 3 doctors at risk. Tree is losing her battle against her illness. We do get an 85% tend on Tree, which could help. And then we also need to have Kit tend to Kiko as well. The fire coming in from the north has already reached the potatoes, and we need to deal with that as well. Right, it seems like the fires have finally been dealt with for the time being. Tree is in a medical emergency. She is close to catching up, but another portent could cement her death. It depends how far she can get ahead in the next 3 hours. Another... oh no, tree got up and went down. Where is Kit? We'll have Kit rescue Tree and tend to her again. 100% medical tend guarantees her survival, which is good news. Kiko, meanwhile, is fighting the infection okay. We'll have Kit tend to them as well. And another 100% on them should keep them alive for the time being. Tree should be able to get back up, hopefully within the next day. So she should be able to use her preach health on Kiko. Lips is in an insulting spree, which is not good news, as we kind of need all hands on deck right now. The hauling of the hill route took a bit longer than I wanted, and we are finally able to start harvesting the rice though. We do have a lot of herbal medicine, which is great. Despite all the illnesses that have taken place on this map, it hasn't really made a dent in the medical supplies that we've been trying to get. So this should keep us going if we scavenge from maps as well, while we wait to get the hydroponics bay set up. Grey is going to destroy 56 hyperweave, which I'm not going to allow. We are able to arrest them just in time. And release them immediately. We will have them equip their longsword again. And with the preach health, that should guarantee his survival. The true advent is available. And we are gonna do that as soon as possible. With so many people in low mood, we have enough wood to finally begin the celebration and work on it immediately. Lane goes into a mental break just as the celebration ends, which is unfortunate. The advent is beautiful though, which is a +6 mood. It should help somewhat. And a wanderer decides to join, called Celeste. We are going to accept them, as we need people right now to actually do stuff. We're gonna assign them straight away. They're mostly gonna be focused around just doing odd jobs and construction. We need them to haul for the time being, so we're gonna have them work on that. And then we're gonna assign what we can of the potatoes to be harvested before we have to leave. Don't resow anything. Just work on hauling. Don't resow anything, just work on harvesting. Okay. You don't need to do anything but haul, please. A number of mechanoids are now incoming, and we need to get our people aboard the ship immediately. We're gonna have Lane and Tree arrested, and everyone else should start coming back on the ship anyway. There is a cipher incoming, which is fine. We are gonna have to leave behind a excellent quality LMG. Launch. And the ship will now be launched. A couple of mechs are gonna make it aboard, so we'll have to repel them as soon as we get to the next map. Hang on, I need to cancel temporarily. Quests. Available, defend the scanner, accept. And then launch. Begin. Okay, we've landed in the tropical rainforest. The travelers are going to end up getting slaughtered by the mechs back at the previous map. The grav engine has overheated, which means we can't leave for 8.1 days. That is fine, we have a 15-day timer on the scanner. Meanwhile, we do need to work on clearing the mechs out of the ship, of which there are 3 ciphers. We just need to gather up enough shooters. To take them down without issue. Okay. Lane has a mental break. And we end up dealing with the last of the ciphers. One of them is beelining straight for Celeste, who is by herself. So we'll have the other colonists just rush them. The mechs are finally dealt with. Gray still doesn't have his shield belt, so I'm gonna try and see what is going on with that. Prisoner, release. Tree and Lips will be released from their confinement. Unfortunately, we did lose Lane's weapon, so he'll have to equip something else once he regains his sanity. For the meantime, the first order of business will be to set up a growing zone for rice, as well as to gather wood, as we have none, and we're gonna need a lot of chem fuel to travel to the next location. Tree goes into a daze. That is expected. Tree and Gray are likely going to have mental breaks for a considerably long time. There is not really much we can do about that until we can get a permanent dining room and recreation area, as well as start putting good quality or excellent quality statues in rooms. We did have a number of excellent quality, good quality I mean, but we did sell them off. Which isn't ideal. Crafter needs to work on art, so we're gonna put everything else on low priority while we have him do that. And then we need marble chunks, which this map has none of. We do have a large amount of jade though, so I may allow them to be made from jade as well, depending on his skill. Yes. I'll make another one. And have him work on jade sculptures. The people with the worst mood can have the jade. While things are peaceful, and with just having arrived at a new map, I think I will end the episode here. Unfortunately, I barely got anything done at all this episode. Quite a lot of things were going wrong in terms of illnesses and fires, and having to rush to get enough stuff to leave the map. So I think the ship upgrades will probably come in more over time, rather than being sorted out within the next episode. So it'll probably be something that happens over the course of the next 3 or 4 episodes, depending on the colonist mood. Yeah, thank you for watching. If you are enjoying the series so far, please consider liking and subscribing. It massively helps the channel out and lets me know you're enjoying the content I produce. Thanks again, and I'll see you next time.